Well, hey there everyone. So this week we're going to do something a little crafty for autumn. So recently I seen a picture of what was a leather made acorn bag, and I had to make that, especially for like Ren Fair reasons, because that would be super cute. So I don't have leather, but I do have EVA foam. So that's what I'm going to be using to attempt to make a leather pattern with EVA foam to make an acorn bag. So I am going to get a pattern for this from this lovely person on Etsy. And again, it is for leather, so I might have to adjust some of the measurements because these aren't going to be sewn together. They're going to be glued together for the pieces. But honestly, I think it should work out okay. I think. Also, for supplies, I did end up getting a snap kit for leather, which I did test, and it does work on foam, as per my test. And I'm using foam that's really not very thick, because, again, I'm trying to emulate leather, and if I used any thicker, I feel like it would just be hard to handle, especially with the snaps. So yeah, I gotta print out that pattern and then cut out the pieces, and then start to glue things together. Hey, no zoomies on the sewing table. Evie. No zoomies on the sewing table. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so slight change of plan. So before I was going to glue all of the acorn shell together, but actually I think I will try and hand sew them, because this is kind of acting like leather, and I think I can just sew them together and it'll be fine. So that means before I put all the pieces together, I have to plasti dip them, and then I have to paint them and get them all ready, and then I can put everything together. So these are just gonna get a simple plasti dip, and then I'm gonna start with some black spray paint or some brown spray paint, and then I'm going to get some other lighter colors and make it a little bit more defined. And then these pieces will also get the plasti dip and then the brown spray paint. I don't know how much more I'm gonna do on that because the original piece just has like dark for these pieces, so I'm gonna play around with that. And then the two little strap pieces again are gonna get plasti dip and then some more brown and then probably some lighter colors on it, and then I'm probably just gonna weather everything at the very end as well. So I'm gonna go decorate these, and I'll see you back in a bit. So to add detail on both the straps and the acorn pieces, basically what I did is I drew out the design that I wanted, and then you just take an X-Acto knife and you lightly score the top of those designs. And then once you do that, you can take the heat gun, and basically what that does is that opens up the little cuts you made so that when it's all painted, you can see the defined detail. And then before I took these out to paint, I did go ahead and try to heat shape the top of the acorn so that it wasn't so flat and had more of like a rounded shape to it. And then I plasti dipped, and yeah, I very much need to get a new can of plasti dip because this is broken or something, because all of the plasti dip just like pools in that little top of the can, and so it drips everywhere. So I eventually did just give up using the plasti dip. You can see how messy this is. And I didn't plasti dip the top acorn pieces, and it turned out fine, but I do need to get a new can. Once everything was spray painted brown and dry, I could go ahead and start the painting process. So I kind of just made like a yellowy tan for the bottom of this acorn, and then later I do add a little bit of a fade of brown at the bottom. And then I kind of use the same like tanny gray color for the top of the acorn. And then to add a little bit of texture, I blotted on some green at the ends of the little leaves. And then once I was done with painting, I could go ahead and put a gloss on all of the pieces and finish them. Okay, everything is now finally painted and glossed and everything. At first I wasn't liking it, and then I glossed everything, and now I'm liking it a bit more because the colors are coming out a bit more vibrant. So that's all I'm gonna do today. Wow, these pieces turned out really good. Tomorrow I'm going to assemble everything, and then we will be all done. Okay, so it's day 2, and I have everything painted. I'm not sure if I'm super happy with the paint job. It's like, here's the little acorn, which I think is fine, but I'm a little skeptical about this. I thought the green would be a nice touch to, wow, that's a cool effect. Would be a nice touch to just like mix up the colors a bit, but it kind of looks like a strawberry. It's okay, but I do really like these straps because they look like actual leather with the paint and the gloss. So these turned out really good. I'm gonna keep these like this, and these are gonna be the strap at the top. So yeah, today I have to start sewing everything together. So for these pieces, these are gonna be sewn together, and to make the little like sewing marks in leather work, you generally have a tool that you like tamp out little marks so it's easier to put the needle through. But I don't have that, so I'm just gonna use a fork. I'm just gonna use a fork and make some little holes, and then I can sew through them. And then when I'm putting on the cap of the acorn, I believe I'm just gonna use contact cement, because I don't have the tools or the pieces that I need to put them together properly, which is like little things, little, what are they called? But yeah, I don't have those, so I'm just gonna contact cement it and call it good. And then I will put on the snaps, and then I will also contact cement the strap onto the inside of the acorn, and then put a snap on that, and then we'll be done. So let's go ahead and get to sewing. Oh, and by the way, for sewing, I will be using the saddle stitch, I believe. Look up a tutorial if you don't know what it is, because I will be doing the same. Now again, you see me using this fork to put the holes in this piece. So pretty much I like laid them out on the back, and then I punched it through the rest of the way on the front. And you do that to all the sides of the pieces so that you can get the needle easily through all of the holes. Yeah, about halfway through this, I decided I did not like the painting of the top of the acorn, so I did go back outside and I spray painted them brown and reglossed them. Alright, so about halfway through sewing this bad boy, and I could not stop thinking about the top of this acorn and how much I did not like the painting, so I did end up going back outside and spray painting it that original brown. I just think it looks better. It looks more like leather and it goes better with the bottom, so I redid those. And then I should have done this yesterday, but I don't want to use contact cement to connect the top. I wanted to connect the top the way it's supposed to be with the little leather connectors. So I did order them and they are coming tomorrow morning. So basically I'm just going to get done sewing this and then I'm going to have to wait to put the top together tomorrow. So that'll be about it for today. I know I should have done this earlier, but I didn't. I'm just going to finish sewing these, and yes, I did abandon the saddle stitch because that was confusing. So I'm just sewing it multiple loops and it's sturdy. Also, yes, I do not have thick thread. I have embroidery thread. So this is a real mashup of random things going together to make this, but it's working. So I'm gonna finish sewing this and that'll be it for today, and then I will catch you back tomorrow to put the top together and then finish this bad boy and have the reveal. So I'll keep going. Okay, so yesterday I finished the sewing of the bottom of the acorn, and I also repainted these top pieces, so now it is time to put everything together. I did get my connectors this morning, so I'll probably end up using the bronze, I feel. So yeah, we pretty much just have to connect all of the acorn tops with these connectors, and then we can get everything put onto the acorn with the snap and everything. This needs a little snap. So yeah, we're almost done. So let's put some connectors on. Now that I have all of my kits in, it's time to punch holes in all of these pieces so that I can get the little rivets and snappy pieces through. So the template did come with the little markings of where you should put the holes. So I took a pin and I just kind of stabbed through those holes so that I could see them, and then I like went back through with the pins just so it was more defined, and then I could put the holes in these pieces. So this was a very loud portion of the project, but you just take the little piece that it comes with, and it's a little cutter, so you just put it on and then hammer it down, and that gives you a little pierced hole. And then the top strap of this does get a little snap, so I just went ahead and put the snap right on. And now it was time to connect everything. So you basically just take all of these layers of the top of the acorn and add your rivets to them at the top and bottom. There's instructions on the rivets of how to do it. And then each rivet gets put on each of the holes, and that just connects everything and gives it that nice little bow that is going to form the top of this acorn. And for the strap, I did put 2 holes because you are supposed to connect the strap with 2 rivets on each side, but I decided that I did not think these rivets would be big enough to go through 3 layers of foam, so I did end up just using the 1 rivet on each side. So there is a little exposed hole, but nobody can really see it. And then once everything was finally all put on, I could connect the rivets to the back, which is going to act as our little hinge, and then the snap to the front, and we are ready for the final look. Here she is. I think this turned out so much better than I was expecting it to. This looks surprisingly like leather, if you ask me, especially this top bit with all the brown spray paint and all the little connectors and everything. This looks so much like leather. Like if I saw this in a store, I would assume it was not made of EVA foam. I think this is going to be a great addition to my Ren Fair get up. I have seen people, like videos of people, and they'll like take little trinkets to like trade at the Ren Fair. I think this would be a great thing to put all of the little trinkets in. It's just so cute. Or as I had, you could have it as like a D&D dice holder. Yeah, this was, I wouldn't say the easiest thing to make, just because hand sewing is my worst enemy. And these were okay to put on until I got to this really rough back here. I almost broke one of the leaves off trying to get the connector on, because it was really hard to like get in and try and hammer it, but I eventually figured it out through some finagling. But I got it done. And like there is like a teensy gap in the bottom and obviously a gap in the top, so I wouldn't put anything like too small in this bad boy, otherwise you're gonna lose some items. There you could put like some foam in the bottom to make it like act like all closed, but I did not do that. And then for the little loop here, I think there's possibility of this being like hung on a belt, but I did try it with my belt, and it does like stick out quite a lot. I don't know if you'd be able to tell, but it like doesn't really sit flat. So I don't know, it has potential to be a belt item. Otherwise, you could just hang on to it and stroll along like the little fairy you are. That's what I feel like. I feel like a little garden fairy with my little outfit and my little acorn purse. Yeah, I'm really glad that I went back and repainted this top here, because I do not think the other paint job would have been good. It was not my best work, but the spray paint that I found was surprisingly a good brown, so that also was very lucky. I'm also glad that I didn't glue the side pieces together. I'm glad that I sewed them because it gives it some really nice texture and makes it look more like leather rather than EVA foam, and then I didn't have to do like the seam cover-ups because you're supposed to see the seams on this. So altogether, this just worked out really, really well. Also, I think it's surprising how much foam I feel like acts like leather. Not that I've worked with leather, but it feels like it would work like leather. Yeah, again, thank you to the lovely person that I got this pattern from. I will link it down in the description. It was a great pattern. Everything came together so nicely, and there's even a video tutorial that goes along with this that they throw together. So yeah, thank you for hanging out with me while I made my little autumn craft and look like a little fairy in the woods. So, anywho, if you like what I did, go and like and subscribe. I post most Saturdays, mostly at noon, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching!